How you doing? How you be? Top to the AB in gaming news. We have a 14-minute trailer for Zelda Tears of a New Kingdom, or Tears of a Kingdom, or however you want to say that. And I am excited. I kind of want to see exactly what's going on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch the full 14 minutes, but we will see. As well as a few, what do we call it? I forgot what we call it. Roulette cases. There we go. Right after this. Hi, I'm Anthony, and if you are new here, consider subscribing. We actually troubleshoot and help people with their technical issues and PC gaming issues, and subscribing will help us grow the channel and help more people. Thanks. All right, Forum, how you doing? How you be? Top to the AB. Hope everybody had a good day at work and school and or other. My name is Anthony, or TheOpenForum, and we are gaming adjacent. Essentially, we help people with their technical issues, PC issues, this, that, and the other. Any other issue that has to do with the computer, because we are trying to appease Jesus. And hope everybody's doing well. And without further ado here, let's start getting things started here. Let me make sure everything looks good. Everything looks fine. Alrighty, so the first thing up that I wanted to talk about is that apparently there's a 14-minute, I think it's actually longer than this, but this is just from Game Explain, 14 minutes of new Zelda Tears of a Kingdom gameplay, and that has me curious. Let's take a look. What's on his back? What was the point? You giving him his last supper? Is that it? Oh, what's up with the resolution? Sorry, just realized what was going on there. Any day now. Any. Did you just rob him? If I didn't know any better, it feels like they're the regular Breath of the Wild. It's just that Link now has a tattoo. Infusion. Oh, and the same sound. Wow, okay. Guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Is those batteries? Apparently his fusion requires 4 AAAs. Where you be getting glue from? I feel like you need an instruction manual just to play. And it has the same ending sound? Jesus. Okay. Oh my God. Running everything in private mode. Everything's a commercial. I'm not sure I'm much longer I'm gonna stay on this. It's it looks like Breath of the Wild. I don't know what you really want me to say. It 100% looks like Breath of the Wild. It looks like Breath of the Wild with fusion. Oh my goodness. My internet went down because there was a storm outside, and it's been like this ever since. Okay, I've had enough. Okay, yeah, we're not. Okay. Okay, I think I've had enough. Okay. It's Breath of the Wild. I don't know what you want to call that, but that is Breath of the Wild. I was starting to get sleepy because of how peaceful it was. There wasn't any action. There was no excitement. It's just Breath of the Wild DLC with some new features. Okay. So, let's just talk about it, right? So if we go back and we talk about some of the different things with Zelda, right? Okay, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, all of those games had something different, something they brought different to the genre that made it different. You could even go back to Mario, his compatriot. Mario, okay, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Odyssey, New Donk City versus, Super Mario RPGs type games, and Super Mario World and Super Mario Brothers, and it's so every different game is an iteration. This just feels like an iteration of Breath of the Wild. It doesn't really feel like its own. It feels like Breath of the Wild. It's the same sounds. It's the same action sequences. It's the same type of fights. I did like that you didn't really do a whole lot of damage to the Bokoblin with an arrow. That's pretty cool, which means that, you have to be a little bit more creative in actually killing them. That's about it, though. I get the gliding, but you had gliding before. You had climbing before. Now, you have a lot of little knickknacks, like fusions and glue and melding. Basically, it's like a Mario Maker version of Breath of the Wild. And I think it's going to be a great game. Don't get me wrong. Breath of the Wild was a great game. I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like creating a duplicate of a game that already exists and just adding new features, I guess is the best way. That's the way it feels, His damage is the same. The way he dies is the same. The music is the same. The fight sequence is the same. The fight music is the same. The way you fight them is the same. The mechanics are the same. It's just that it's different. The mechanics of the fight is the same. But the tools that you use is the only thing that's changed. But their rule set for the tools themselves are the same. Whereas, it can only maybe do about 3 or 4 strikes until you get the Master Sword, so on and so forth. You can start fusing things with it. Now, it would be cool if maybe you can fuse things with the Master Sword and it not disappear. That'd be kind of cool. But we're just talking about add-ons to Breath of the Wild. We're not really talking about something that's actually new. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I felt better about it when I was watching the trailer than I do when I was watching this. This is boring. So, I don't know. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. It is a thing. In other news, Star Wars, the Last Survivor or Last Jedi Survivor, it actually comes out tomorrow, which is Thursday. So we will be around to help people in case they are having issues. But I also did buy the game, so there will also be some gameplay of that. But without further ado, as far as the game for today, let's do Genshin Impact. I haven't done that in forever. So we'll do Genshin Impact as the game for today. I need to make some more Genshin Impact footage, but I haven't lately, but I will with some different characters probably this weekend. Alrighty, and without further ado, let's get started on helping people. Okay, this is a repeat. Oh, it's pretty. It's, he says, do-it-yourself Misinforum Elite Mini B550. It looks great for an open air case. So if you have a Dan Case A4 SFX, it actually has extremely comparable case. it actually has an extremely compatible carrying case. Timba BYOB 13, I would just try this guy because thing is the Dan case is aluminum and extremely light. What makes it heavier is the gear, so no matter which case you choose, you will always be around the 10-pound mark or more. Thanks for the recommendation, but I have a backpack anyway since I also have to take clothes and my iPad with me. Okay. But I think I was just kind of giving him options on what he can do for actual carrying case. But I was just ignoring that. I don't even think that was a question. I was thinking that was just a statement to my reply from some time when that I don't even remember. All right, cool. We'll start with malware then. Threats found, icon won't go away on Windows Defender. I had multiple false flags on an ISO file. I deleted the ISO file and pressed start actions. It was indefinitely loading. So the next day I reinstalled the same file in the same directory because I figured maybe it was looking for the file. It still loads infinitely when I try to take action on the flags. How do I get rid of the threats found icon? Well, did you empty the recycle bin? I would remove the ISO file from the location you put it in and empty your recycle bin. Let us know if that works. Oh, I would actually say, let us know how that goes. How that goes. Yeah, I mean, you know, how that goes. When it comes to just, you know, Windows Defender will trigger if it sees it, you know, so if it's in any location, regardless, if it's, as long as it's on your computer, it will see it. So it can trigger off of it because you actually deleted it, but it may not actually be gone. It may just be in the recycle bin. Therefore, it still sees it. That's why you're still having these kind of issues. I actually really like Hu Tao. I don't know why. I think Hu Tao is one of those characters that you don't have to actually spend a whole lot of money to have her. I ended up doing it, but it wasn't because of Hu Tao. It was because of the weapon that she uses can be used by any character in the entire game, including Kazuha. So it's that's the reason why I'm sorry, not her weapon, but her weapon can be used by any game and any person in the game, including what was I gonna say? What's his name? Zhongli. That was the person I was thinking of, Zhongli. So basically anybody can use her weapon, which is why I like it so much. But she doesn't actually need any constellations to actually be good, which is what I like entirely. But in any event, that's what we would say to this person. All right. Hold on. Do you think it got too hot? Oh, that's what that is. I thought somebody was chewing on the case. But yeah, no. It definitely got too hot right in this area. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a Fujitsu. I don't even think they make computer components anymore. That was back when they used to make floppies. Wow. All right now. Okay. Well, you do your thing, I guess. Looks like someone bit your case, bruh. LOL. Yeah, that looks like it got bit. It's melted and bit, so I just don't know. I guess it was eaten by a dragon, but apparently that case has seen better days. And let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Frame loss in all games, factory reset, help for a little while. I remember this. So this is a repeat. In January, I experienced massive frame drops across all games and even in menus. I restored the Xbox Series X to factory settings and it worked. And he's tried it multiple times, but the problem keeps coming back. So I said, well, is the Xbox wired or wireless? If it's wireless, connected directly to your router to see if it makes a difference. Also make sure the Xbox and controllers are up to date. Also, what resolution are you running the games with? Do you perchance change resolution / frame rate? The problem is not with the internet. It is connected by cable, but this happens in non-online games. I tested it also in offline, and as mentioned, even menus had low frame rates. Also, if it was a connection issue, restoring factory settings wouldn't be a temporary solution, which it is. As for the resolution, I run them at 4K 120. Console settings, of course, the games differ in options. Changing those didn't work. As I said, all games, even some hardware like indies, and even if that worked, I would still have a faulty console, which doesn't work at its full capability. Okay, well, had to ask, but yeah. You essentially answered your own question. I mean, he was kind of rude about it, but yeah, I mean, sure, we can go ahead and get to the conclusion because he kind of answered everything. If a reset, if a hard or a If a wipe does not fix the issue and it's wired, plus you have tried indie games and you still have the problem, it will be a hardware issue. Hardware issue, possibly overheating, as when you wipe, the machine is not being fully utilized. I would check the top for any dust that you could blow out, or if not that, then a RMA. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's pretty much going to be hardware. I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. If you say that, hey, I tried indie and I run at 4K 120, some support it, some don't, and I would technically, what you would want to know is, like, in some of those indie games, if you run it at 1080p or if you run it at 720p, does it actually resolve the issue? Because if it does, then that really kind of points to overheating more so than it does to GPU or CPU. But when he's like this, there's no point. I'll just get to the conclusion. The conclusion is, you sounds like you have a hardware issue no matter which way you cut it, and the best way to do and fix that is an RMA. Because there's no point in going back and forth. This man is I wouldn't say he's aggressive. I would say he's indifferent. So because of that, there's no point in trying to continue on. Just go ahead and get to the conclusion, because I mean, you know, that sounds like that's what he wants. It sounds like he already knew the conclusion if that's the way he feels about it. But I mean, it is what it is. If you're trying to run 4K 120, I do worry that may be what's causing it to overheat, but at the same time, if the resolution is there, that means that the device can't handle it in certain scenarios. So either way, it's still going to look like it's going to be a hardware issue. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, sure, Slaz a kick. Keep us posted, I guess. But I think that may be the end of it. I never liked when people ask questions in chats and then you answer them and they get mad. It's like, come on, you asked me. No, you're wrong. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's this. Okay, well then why did you ask? Why are you wasting my time? You know how many people we can help? But in any event, this is from Mr. Ridho. Radeon RX 5700 XT DisplayPort to HDMI outputs no signal after Windows logo on startup. Oh, wow. That's a lot to say. Specs up here, but whatever. We'll just go ahead and go on. This is a new issue. Connecting a passive display port to HDMI converter with one of the 3 display ports on the GPU has to an HDMI 1080p 60Hz monitor. Makes it boot up until the Windows logo appears, then the screen goes black and I get no signal. Safe mode won't work either. I've tried with 2 different monitors, both 1080p 60Hz, the HDMI output and the GPU. Using an HDMI to HDMI cable works fine on both monitors, but I want both connected, so I need at least one of them connected to a DisplayPort output. If I connect them both, only the HDMI one gets signal and the Windows doesn't detect the second one, not even in Device Manager. With both connected, the post and BIOS and Windows logo all appear only on one HDMI. Troubleshooting. I've tried disconnecting everything and unplugged from the current in multiple orders using safe mode, reinstalling and updating drivers, GPU drivers, and 3 different DisplayPort outputs the GPU has, and disabling HDCP in Adrenaline. I've read this could be a matter of needing an active adapter, but I haven't tried that yet. However, the display ports are supposedly version 1.4 and dual mode, so they shouldn't need active. I'm not sure though. This is driving me insane. Any help is appreciated. Okay, cool. So he has HDMI plus 3 display ports, and whenever he goes display to HDMI, that's when he has a problem on his television. So, quick question. Is there any TV/monitor in your house that supports display? If so, I would try to hook that guy up only just for a second, temporarily, we'll say temporarily, to see if the ports themselves are good. Once this is verified, then it sounds like it would be a cable issue or a issue Well, no, it can't even be that. I was going to say, or an issue with the HDMI ports on the monitor. However, whenever he's going HDMI to HDMI, he has no problem. So it's either going to be a cable issue or a cable issue. I mean, I suppose it could be a graphics card issue. But if you try it this way, then it won't be a graphics card issue. It can only be a cable issue. Once this is verified, then it sounds like it would be a cable issue. Do you have more than one display to HDMI cable? Yeah, we'll treat it that way because that's kind of the best way to go about it. Because if you have another monitor anywhere in your house that supports display, plug in a display cable to it going into your computer, see if it works. If it does, then that lets you know the display ports on the actual graphics card are good. It just doesn't like the adapter. So then, yeah, you would actually prove it by disproving everything else is essentially what you would want to do. So if you ever run into situations where you have essentially a problem that you don't actually understand, or you may not know the how this particular product works, well, if you know how every other product around it works, you can basically figure it out by process of elimination because you know what it isn't. So if you know what it isn't, you can prove what it is. You see what I'm saying? So in this particular situation, even though we don't know specifically, I'm sure we can look it up whether or not DisplayPort to HDMI needs an active display. I don't think it does, but I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to look that up. But instead of going that route, it's probably easier in our situation to disprove everything else. That way we can prove that because he's already done most of the work for us. So all we have to do is disprove it and then move on. So that's kind of what this one is. It's just us kind of disproving it or having him try a DisplayPort cable directly to another monitor that also supports DisplayPort and then let us know how it goes. Okay, that looks good. Alrighty, let me go there. Okay, and that is group 1. Let's go ahead and go to group 2. We'll see. Let's see if it gets better. We'll give it 30 seconds. Oh no, your spaceship. I did say 30 seconds, didn't I?
Don't buy solar panels.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, pass. Well, I buy it, of course. It's just, it's Breath of the Wild, man. I don't know what you want me to say. It's Breath of the Wild. All right. This is from Salvaru, and Salvaru writes, Ryzen 7800 X3D Windows 10 freezes. My Windows 10 freezes fresh install randomly with no error until hard reset. It can happen after 1 hour just browsing the web or after like 10 hours. Okay. Well, are you overclocking the memory? What happens if you remove the memory overclock? Also, could you go to blah event viewer essentially and let us know what it gets? He says also kernel event tracing also. Oh, okay. Also kernel event tracing also? I mean, what? Okay, so you're saying it generates a kernel event? A kernel event? What error does it give you? Not quite sure what he's trying to say there, but I mean, we could just ask him, hey, what kind of error are you referring to in this? So we can kind of get a better understanding of what he's actually talking about there. But yeah, essentially we would want to know what's in Event Viewer for his Windows logs whenever he runs into this issue and everything starts to freeze. Is there a particular application that's causing this, or if there's something else? And we could just kind of go from there. Alrighty, this is from Lana. Lana says, broken LCD screen monitor in parentheses. It's an Acer monitor, LCD screen, 144 hertz. Only one section of the screen is blacked out with some correlated pixels. Some of the black pixels lit up again too. The blacked out section is only a couple of inches wide and doesn't fully cover top to bottom. Do I need to get the whole screen fixed? Is it possible for me to just repair the one side by opening it up? What should I do? Generally, well, if it's in the way of your gameplay, that is usually grounds for a RMA if you have one. Well, if it's in the way of your gameplay, that is usually grounds for an RMA if you have one. But ideally, you wouldn't want to go into the panel. But ideally, you would want to go into the panel as you can cause even more damage. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'm just reading it just to see if we missed anything. But yeah, that's essentially what you would want to do here. It really, I mean, it doesn't even depend at this point. It's just, you know, if you have a 1080p monitor or whatever this monitor's resolution is, and it's at 144 hertz and half of it is black, I mean, it's not a whole lot anybody can do. That's just a hardware issue. You know, that's just going to be a straight RMA. So in this case here, RMA. And unfortunately, you know, there's not a whole lot more we can say about it. It kind of just is what it is. So Lana, keep us posted. Alrighty, so this is from Grin. Grin says, Grin's topic is really long. So let me just refresh real quick and get something to drink. All right, let's do this. Oh, okay, so it's not even an issue. A game to play when you have open world burnout. After going through Elden Ring, I get you, I found myself suffering from a bit of burnout from the same old formula. I think that's okay. I'm wondering if this is what I feel whenever I look at the new Tears of a Kingdom, because that game looked incredibly boring. It looked like playing Breath of the Wild. And maybe that's why, is because I'm kind of burnt out on the whole MMO open world concept. It's probably why I haven't even finished Harry Potter, and I love open world games. It's just, I don't know, man. Me personally, I never play the same game more than once. If I beat it, I'm not going to replay it. I may play the DLC, but it is super rare. I don't know what it is, but it's like once I beat it and I finish that, I can't go back. It's like this is in life too. Like once I complete something, it's very hard for me to go back to it. And I don't know why that is, but yeah. And with Breath of the Wild, I think the new one just feels so much like the old one that it's hard for me to actually get into it. And I think this person has a very similar sentiment. To that extent, having recently played the Dragon series, I found myself wanting more of these types of games where it isn't quite open world, but it's still those elements of exploration. Doesn't have to be a mystery element through Master Detective Archives Raincoat is coming so soon. So yeah, some games that spring to mind when I think of this are the above mentioned Yakuza series and Judgment series, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, Dredge, Street Fighter 6, played the demo, and I would say it fits what I want, and especially the World Tour story mode is just small open element like Yakuza really. Security Breach, despite its flaws. Star Wars The Jedi Survivor, yep, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe when it's released. Minecraft Legend, well honestly it didn't feel like overwhelming, but somehow I still enjoyed it, despite I don't like open worlds. AI, blah blah blah. Dead Island 2, open element and zones, that's it. Deus Ex, of course there's more, but these are the ones that spring out to me. And some strategy games I enjoy outside of the genre include strategy and turn-based games such as Stellaris, Jagged Alliance, multiplayer team games such as Overwatch 2. Thank you for reading. Okay, well, to answer your question, you actually had it right. I would say Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I would say Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, as well as the original. the new one comes out tonight. So you posted this just in time, LOL. Yeah, the new one comes out tonight, bro. I don't know why I don't see the point of the topic. Because I mean, if you're already talking about Jedi Survivor, it literally comes out tomorrow. But Persona, you can go Persona, I guess that's true. But yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Oh, you can also add Genshin Impact if you feel that way about those type of games. Also Genshin Impact. I recommend Genshin Impact. But if you're like me and you can kind of gamble a little bit, I don't really recommend Genshin Impact. I recommend Genshin Impact now, 3 years from now, or 3 years later than I did when I first got it, because now I know, okay, but back then I didn't know. Back then I thought, you know, hey, I'll just spend this amount on Venti because he was just like the best character he can group and all this kind of stuff. This is before people knew about Sucrose as well as Zhongling. So I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and get Venti. And once I have him, I don't have to do anything, you know? And then Klee came out, and Klee was so doggone cute. I had to go for it because I was a Klee main. I was a Klee main for a very long time. And so between Venti and Klee, I thought I was going to be done until Fire got nerfed, and then I needed Ice. But at the same time, I didn't really need any of them. You can beat the game with the standard characters. You just have to play it for a while. It's not a hard game. Its level of difficulty is equivalent to Mario on easy. Like, it's super easy. So there's no reason to actually go for characters. But I know that now. But when I was, you know, playing it when it first came out, I did not feel that way. So, you know, I was just like, hey, let me go ahead and get these characters while I still can, you know, because if their banner goes away, I don't know when they're coming back. But now I don't care at all. There's not a single person on that game who will make me do more than 20 damage or takes more than 20 damage from me or deals more than 20 damage to me, you know, because, you know, you got shields and they're usually dead and you do a ton of damage, and you got Ayaka and you have Ganyu and you have, you know, all of these fire types, you have Hu Tao, you have all these different situations. And now there's no real reason or need to actually pull on banners unless you just really like the character. So now I can recommend it now more than I did previously, because previously we were kind of fed a little bit of a white lie about end game and all this kind of stuff that may actually prove to be difficult. Nothing is difficult about that game. That game is incredibly easy. When you can kill everybody in one hit, it's easy. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Okay, also I love Albedo. Albedo is one of my favorite characters. I did pull for him too. This is from Brock and Roll. Brock and Roll says network problems. Okay, cool. So yeah, he was getting this network problem where it said cannot connect to the server within the time limit. So basically he's having some latency here. And we said, okay, sure. What happens when you go to settings, network connection status, test internet connection? What are the exact numbers you receive here on a wired connection? Okay, sounds like you're getting blocked, bro. Yeah, looks like you're getting blocked. This is what I'm getting. The issue seems to be signing into PSN. Yeah, it appears you are being blocked. Is the router yours? If so, I would try to update the software. Update the software. Is the router yours? If so, I would try to update the software. And if that doesn't work, try a hard reset by holding the reset button in the back parentheses. This will wipe your current configuration, which is exactly what we want. Essentially what we want. Okay, yeah. So he has signal connectivity and he has the ability to pull an IP address. He just can't get onto his network sign-in. So either his issue is with DNS or his issue is with a block. Regardless if it's DNS or if it's a block, it's still going to be the router's fault. That's why we're saying just go ahead and reset it and see if that fixes the issue. Okay, yeah, that's what we would say for that. Brock and Roll. Keep us posted, bruh. Alrighty, so yeah, we're good on that. Okay, what series should make a comeback? This is just a few, but what are some series that Sony should try to bring back? Oh, I tell you right now, Toomba. I don't know why, but I always thought this game was one of the best games ever created by mankind. this game right here. Toomba was so great. I don't even know why it was so great. It's just, when I was a kid and I finally got Toomba, it was such a good game. Yeah, this, where you just bite people and then throw them. I don't know why it was so much fun, but that game was super awesome. Hold on, let me show y'all so y'all know what I'm talking about. Toomba.
We're putting a team together.
Oh my God.
Activate Games is now open in Plano.
Okay, I don't want to get demonetized, so let me turn that off. I'm not sure how deep the rabbit hole goes, so we'll just mute that a little bit there. But I just wanted to show just a little bit of the gameplay so people can get an idea of what it was like. Okay, I should preface, I didn't have all my motor skills yet, okay? So just bear with me here. I just thought this game was super awesome when I was a kid, but he hasn't been a single person, which is kind of annoying me. Let me, okay, let's try here. Yeah, it's like that. And then he throws them and it does a lot of damage. Yeah. I don't know why I thought this game was so awesome. It's just, it could do so much and Toomba can do so much. It was just really cool. Yeah, so that's Toomba. I'm not about to sit here and watch it for that long, but that's the game that I kind of would like it to actually have a new one because he had so many features and skill sets. He was basically Yoshi, but a human. Alrighty, let's see where we were. Oh, this one right here, Toomba. Final answer. I guess you could throw Killer Instinct in there, but Killer Instinct has had a lot of updates, and you know, there's been more Killer Instincts, but there's only been one Toomba, or maybe there was two, but I was already an adult before the next one came out. But Toomba, yeah, there's not very many iterations of Toomba, but Killer Instinct, there's several. All right, let's go ahead and go to group 3 here, and let's get off of this because it's just text at this point. Okay, texture issue on PS5. Is anyone having issues with texture rendering on PS4 games booted up on PS5? This is the one where we test Ghost of Tsushima and it was fine. And he says he has the issue on Dark Souls 1 and 3, as well as Red Dead Redemption 2 and Elden Ring, the worst one. Okay. Okay. I don't have those games on PS4. No, I don't. If that's the case, does the issue go away in Elden Ring? Does the issue go away? Dark Souls 1, 2, 1 and 3, Red Dead Redemption 2. And what was the issue though? Texture issues. Does the issue go away in Elden Ring if you were to lower the resolution to 720p 60 FPS? So yeah, I would try that. Try lowering the resolution to 720p and 60 frames per second to see if that actually gets it to show without any types of artifacting. If it does and everything is fine whenever you're at 720p, it appears that it's having some issues with the higher resolutions. And then we can kind of go from there. Now, you said Elden Ring. Okay, well, you said Dark Souls 1 and 3, and those aren't really online games. So yeah, this is what I would say for this one. Acrobatic pair. Keep us posted. Alrighty, here. Let's go ahead and go to our next one. So, okay, cool. This is a video. Hold on. Something better happen. Okay, if anybody who couldn't hear that, that's actually the sound of a fan hitting a wire. That's actually the sound of a fan hitting a wire or something spinning, hitting a wire. Sorry, I think I got like hair in my eyes. Okay. Yeah, but that's what I would think here. On this one here, it just sounds like something is hitting a wire. That's exactly what that sounds like. He said, so my PS5 just started making a weird sound, and honestly, I don't want to return it in warranty before trying everything I can do to fix it. I cleaned it, also blowed the dust from inside, and the started this clicky sound. I tried to remove the fan after the fan, then reapplying it, but it still didn't work at all. Also, if I remove the side panels, the sound remains. Please, if anyone knows any fix, let me know. That's actually the sound of a fan hitting a wire or something spinning hitting a wire. If you could identify the wire, you could remove it. It actually sounds like the fan is hitting, yeah. If you could actually identify the wire, you could remove it. Yeah. So yeah, essentially that's what that sound is. That sound is the fan or something that's spinning, hitting something that isn't spinning, like a piece of plastic. Alrighty, Stonk. Yeah, Stonk. Keep us posted. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next. Ooh, it's pretty. This one's actually really pretty. So budget ultra wide build, but I blew the entire budget on the monitor. I get that. I know that feeling when your whole budget goes into a monitor because you didn't know how expensive they are now. But it's still really sweet though, because you got one long screen to handle everything. That's really, really, really nice. Looks like money well spent, LOL. Haha, mine's is funny. Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, it looks really good. It looks nice. It looks like it fits on this desk and the way he currently has it set up. So hey, congrats to him. Alrighty, this is from Nathan Cola. Cannot connect PC to 5G Wi-Fi on home network. So basically, so I built a PC last year and have had no problems connecting to Google Fiber wirelessly until this month. And so my Google Fiber has the normal Wi-Fi, guessing around 2.4, and the 5G Wi-Fi, but he has problems connected to the 5G Wi-Fi. And I said, okay, so when you connect to your 5G network, go to Start, Command Prompt, right click and run as admin, then type ipconfig /all. What does it show for the IP info whenever you type this Wi-Fi connected to 5G network? Okay, so I just came back, tried connected to Wi-Fi, and now I have internet on the 5G network. No idea what changed. Thank you for responding anyway, though. I'm sure it might happen again. Show for the IP info. Okay, so he just left and then came back. All right. Alrighty. Well, we will be here and let him know that we exist because it's kind of what we do. I think this is going to be our first assist trophy. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and just type this here and reply and let him know. And that, my friends, is an assist trophy. Thank you, Luca. I appreciate the dime. Good job, I guess. We didn't really do a whole lot, so I guess you can't really call it a good job, but at least we gave him some type of support here. But essentially, it sounds like he may not be getting all of his IP information whenever he tries to query his router for information. So he may not be getting DNS or default gateway, and maybe that's what's causing his issue. But we'll know more when the issue resurfaces. But for right now, it's okay. All right, so this is from Shabu. I promise I read that right. Why is my computer doing this? So basically, he's getting some pixelation on the main screen there, and also white screens. More than likely memory or GPU memory. What are the specs of this PC? Is it overclocked? Try to remove the overclock and see how it goes. I'm pretty sure it's the RAM. I removed my Corsair RAM and put in the stock generic RAM, and now it's running just fine. Didn't overclock. Something went wrong with my old RAM. Hopefully Corsair can replace it. Specs now after replacing the RAM, 16 blah 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 blah. Okay, sweet. So no problems then. Something went wrong with my old RAM. Hopefully Corsair can replace it. Specs now after replacing the RAM. This is actually a W. Sweet, so no problems then. Everything is working. I'll just wait for him to reply to actually, consider this closed out, because I do want to actually know exactly what's happening here. But we're a little vain here, but because we got an assist trophy last time, we're gonna go ahead and call this a W. Yes, sir. Give me my confetti. So this is a W. It's usually a pretty straightforward case when you think about things like this. If you start to see pixelation to this level, yeah, that's going to be some type of a graphical memory or a CPU memory. So even when you are running tests and you're testing your memory to see, you know, if it's stable and all that kind of stuff, when you start seeing artifacts on your screen that you've never seen before, and it doesn't look like it's coming from the monitor, then it's generally going to be some type of memory or GPU memory that's faulting. So that's a telltale sign that it's a GPU memory or a CPU memory or GPU, but it's higher probability of being memory related. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Ooh, that's bright. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Alrighty, so this one is from Lil Chubby says, problem with Series X. My Series X will not turn on. Series X, where's my controller? Okay, there we go. Yo, I looked to the left too quickly and I saw that background and I thought somebody was behind me. That's how scary I just got. Cause I turned too fast and I saw it and I was just like, is that what I look like behind me? I just looked like something was behind me, so yeah. But anyway, Mr. Chubby, my Series X will turn on, but I can't connect the controller to it. Nor will the Xbox display on my TV. It turns off after about a minute of being on. Anyone dealt with this issue before? Any fixes, or do I have to call Microsoft? Nah. What happens if you A, replace the HDMI cable and plug it into a different port on the TV? And B, what happens if you replace the HDMI cable and plug it into a different port on the TV? And then B, what was B? But I can't connect the controller. Oh, for the controller. What happens if you plug the controller in directly? Does that allow the Xbox and, well, what happens if you plug the controller in directly? Does that allow the Xbox and controller to pair then? Yeah, so essentially we want to know what happens if you replace the HDMI cable and plug it into a different input on the television, as well as what happens if you plug the controller in directly, and then kind of just go from there, because those are really the best ways you would troubleshoot both of those issues, considering they're completely separate from each other. Okay, Mr. Lichib, keep us posted. All right, let's go ahead and go to this one here. This is from Dr. Regressor, and this is straight text and it is boring, so I'll go back to that. So this is from Dr. Regressor. Actually, you know what? Let's switch this up because it's been Genshin this entire time. Let's do some Path of Exile. Alrighty, so Dr. Regressor says this is eye candy. Yeah, I guess if you want to call it that. It's very blue. I think we talked about that. Nice build, bro. The coloring's a bit aggressive, but since it's mostly from the LEDs, you can just change to whatever color you fancy. The LEDs are a lot dimmer than on the picture. Also, the panel has a black tint. My phone just keeps boosting weak light sources. Ah. Yes, I understand your plight. Yes, I understand your plight. No, that's not even funny. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Phones love to overdo photos, making you think that you took a good picture when in reality you suck. You be taking a good picture, be like, oh man, I should be a photographer. I'm so good at taking this picture. And it's like completely edited and like the person doesn't even look human anymore. And it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, no, pretty sweet build, bro. Congratulations. Alrighty, so next one up here. And this is a video from flying to racing in under 10 minutes. You got music? Okay. It just hit a minute, so I had to turn the audio off because the music. That's pretty sweet. I must say that is pretty sweet. Okay, here I don't know how to drive a car or an airplane, not a race car. So I always wondered if that is like completely like lifelike. Like for example, you can actually get some of your hours in pilot courses by actually just using one of those at home. You know what I mean? That would be pretty sweet. But sweet setup. Maybe we should ask him. Does Microsoft Simulator fully simulate an actual plane or an actual plane? Or is there features of the plane that isn't in the actual game? I always wondered that, you know, if you are actually playing like Microsoft Simulator because you like flying planes, is it very akin to actually flying a plane? Could those points be then used as hours towards learning how to fly a plane? You know, those kind of very interesting issues that I struggle with trying to find. But that is pretty sweet, though, to be able to swap out like that. That's pretty nice, especially if you're into flying and racing games. Alrighty, so this one is going to be from Czechoslovakian. He says, Elite Series 2 has a crack fresh from the box. Oh yeah, we said RMA. Well, got the receipt, return it. It's an Elite, bro, not worth it. I bought it off Amazon, already have the QR code set to get a replacement. Sweet. Ah, gotcha. Let us know if you have problems with the controller. We help with technical issues for free. There we go. Let him know. So yeah, I mean, what would you call that? I mean, he had 14 comments and they all basically said RMA. So I wouldn't even consider this an assist trophy because that's just a little bit, that's below even for me. Like, you know, like I didn't deserve that assist trophy. Everybody said that. So because of that, we'll just go ahead and let that slide and we'll call it an indifference. An entanglement. Call it an entanglement. We can't call it an assist and we can't call it an L. We'll just call it an entanglement. All right. So let's go ahead and go into the next one here. This is from I Am Insomniac. Okay, Insomniac writes, Xbox Series S won't recognize, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Y'all just sitting here looking at text with me. Xbox Series S won't recognize any Wi-Fi network sometimes. Hi, what's up, homie? I have been using a Xbox Series S for more than a year now, and it's been giving me connection issues last couple of months. Sometimes when I switch it on, it suddenly won't recognize my Wi-Fi or even other Wi-Fis around the mobile hotspot. The Wi-Fi list screen is empty, and it asks me to add Wi-Fi manually with SSID, etc. I have to go offline and restart my router, etc. to make it work. Meanwhile, all my router devices are using Wi-Fi fine. Once reconnected, it will work fine for a few days and then do the same. Anybody know of a fix? So what that is actually happening is it appears that it's losing its lease on its IP address. And then when it tries to, or when it's supposed to try to pull that information back, it's not. That's why it's dying every few days. So in this particular situation here, we would go, okay, we'll go offline and restart my router, etc. to make it work. Meanwhile, all other devices. Okay, what happens if you plug the Xbox directly into your router? Okay, what happens if you plug the Xbox directly into your router? Does it work then? Go offline and restart the router to make everything work. I think that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot more we can say on this. Had a hard reset solve this. Offline and restart my router, etc. to make it work. Okay, so he never mentioned that he had to restart his PC or his console in this case. He only had to restart his router, which means that he has issues with network assignment because it dies after a few days, which means that its lease runs out and then that's when it starts to have a problem. So does it work then? Yeah, we'll just go with that for right now. because that's really all we want to know on him. All right, that is group 4. We're on group 5. We will have a rapid fire session, so this will go, we'll see. I'm starting to wake up now. Some of these questions are starting to get interesting. We'll see how it goes. All right, group 5. This is going to be from JPW, setting up 2 modems. He means routers, guys. He means routers. We talked about this, and I think everybody pretty much said the same thing, but some were a little bit more aggressive about it. But essentially, he meant routers. And so we explained to him, hey, you know, if you're trying to set up 2 routers, then that means is that the second router needs to be set up in bridge mode so it can pass that information and IP information onto the primary router. So for things like getting IP addresses and reaching certain sites, it's better to go ahead and pass that information on, and then to have 2 routers within the same environment. That's not exactly ideal. And so he said, thanks, he'll try that. And we was like, okay, we'll keep us posted. Cool, keep us posted. All right, let's go and go to the next one here. All right, so this is from the Stake. Okay, controller issue. Issue 1, I have an Elite Series 2. My second one actually both disconnect from Xbox Series X and then reconnects on their own. To be fair, this happens on all Elite Series 2 on PCs and consoles, so it's not just him. My Xbox will completely freeze up. I can hear game audio, party audio. I can see the game I'm playing continue, but I can't press any button on the controller, and only fix is turning off the Xbox and turning it back on. Yeah, for issue 1, what happens if you plug the controller directly into the Xbox? Does it work then? Issue 2, what resolution are you running at? If you change the resolution to 1080p 60 frames per second, does the Xbox still freeze? Not sure about plugging it in because it's so random when it happens. I can go a day or 2 weeks before it happens again. And yes, it freezes on those settings. Also in the same boat of the randomness. Okay, cool. So he still freezes even though he changes his settings. It sounds like it's just overheating if that's the case. Both disconnect from the Xbox Series X and then reconnects on their own. What happens if you plug the controller directly into the Xbox? Okay. Well, for the controller, go ahead and plug in directly and test. As for the resolution and freezing of the Xbox, this sounds more like, and yes, it freezes on those settings, also in the same boat of the randomness. Sounds more like overheating or hardware issue. Okay, so I'll explain why I say that. All right, so he said, so for the resolution and freezing of the Xbox, this sounds more like overheating or hardware issue. Okay, and let me explain that as soon as I type the letter I. And he said, not sure about plugging it in because it's so random, but it still can happen. And yes, it freezes on those settings, also in the same boat of randomness. So his Xbox is actually freezing. Generally, when it's freezing, that's because it is oversubscribed. In other words, the CPU may be maxed out, the GPU may be maxed out, or the memory may be maxed out. That's typically when you run into those kind of problems. Oh, sorry, something just went in my ear. Okay, so my colleague just shared an image. I'm sorry about that. I think y'all probably heard that too. I'm so sorry. Let me actually close this out so y'all don't hear that again. That was so loud, it scared me out of my out of what I was thinking about. Okay, but let's see here. Resolution and freezing with hardware issue. Oh yeah. What happens if you blow out any dust accumulation around or on or in the Xbox? Well, I'm not gonna say in or on because you don't want to be held responsible if something bad were to happen. But, and also this is a it is an Xbox Series X, so basically just making sure that that fan that's at the top there is dust free. So we'll go with that. And the Stake, keep us posted. Alrighty. Oh, another video. This has been Video City. This has been pretty good, not too bad. I like when they entertain us. Bruh, all those evolutionary lights and you still have a Bulbasaur? Like, come on, man. He evolves at level 14. At this point, if you don't have an Ivysaur, it's your own fault. All those evolution lights and you still have a Bulbasaur. LOL. He evolves at level 14. At this point, if you still have him unevolved, it's your own fault. Tell them the truth. You gotta let them know. I mean, at this point, with all those lights and if you got all those lights and it's basically playing the music of an evolution and he doesn't evolve, we fighting. I'm sorry. At some point, I do want you to evolve. You're not about to sit here and be Pikachu and get super, super strong, even though your defense is 4. Like, you're not going to be that. I'm sorry. Venusaur is too much better than Bulbasaur for you to sit there and be grass poison and be bad against every element in the game. And small and have a low defense. No. But you're better off with Venusaur with Earthquake. So yeah. just no. It'd be cool if it could evolve like right then and there, like a transformer. But let's go ahead and go to the last one here of our set cases. All right, so this is the crazy kid. Oh, yeah, so basically he had these inland NVMEs that are 2 terabytes and he had 4 of them and he was able to get them for like $70 a piece. And I was like, I'm calling cap on that because I think that's what the kids say, right? Cap? I'm calling cap on that because when you look at them, I couldn't find these at Micro Center. Inland is Micro Center's product and I couldn't find them. So I wasn't sure how he was able to get them so cheap, but in any event, I've never seen this brand in this color. Are these brand new or refurbished? RGB Master Race, brand new. Okay, so they're brand new. Okay, well, I mean, it's still pretty sweet, I guess. $200 for, or it's a little bit more. I think it's like $300 for 8 terabytes. Thanks, Micro Center. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Yeah, okay. Well, that's not a whole lot to say about it. I was wondering if they said anything extra, but it appears that they didn't. So, rapid fire time. So, for those of you who aren't aware, rapid fire. Okay, I think I gave it another name earlier, but it's actually called rapid fire. Rapid fire is when we hit the refresh button and we just pick random like 4 or 5 or usually sometimes 3, but today we'll do 5 because we're a little bit early. So we'll do about 5 random cases of any issue and I don't really care what it is and we will troubleshoot them. Now, what's interesting is sometimes we don't, like when we take set cases, we're taking set cases because those people have not had somebody reply. So they're always going to be some type of a difficult case. So we don't have easy cases that we take. So when we refresh here, we're just going to pick the top 5, whatever they end up being, whatever field they end up being, and we'll troubleshoot them as if it was nothing. Alrighty, let's do it here. So without further ado, let's spin the wheel. Okay, T30 fans won't go higher than 2100 RPM. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm willing to look at it. Thought I'd treat myself. Sure. How to stop websites from opening whenever I launch Chrome. Sure. Tears of a Kingdom? No, we just talked about that. So we'll skip it. I'm not about to sit here and watch that again, bro. It was so boring. Black bezel looks great on the gray. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Air Plus free upgrade if you don't mind waiting. Okay, I'll do that. And we'll do one more. Gamescom. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so T30 fans won't go higher than 2100 RPM. T30? Hey guys, so a little context first. I have a build, and y'all don't want to see this, is all text. I have a build with specific, okay, well, this area, this is beach. I'm trying to level my character. I've been like the same level ever since I started playing. So now I'm trying to level up my character so I can make him stronger because I was trying to learn how to fight different bosses and I kept getting tired of getting beat by Cirrus. And Cirrus is still around, but I think he's a lot easier now. But in any event, back to this particular person's question. i7 13700K, 32 gigs of RAM, 5600 megahertz, overclocked to overclocked to 5600 megahertz, DDR5, RTX 3080, Lian Li Galahad, 240 millimeter AIO, and an 850 watt power supply. So before I swapped the previous fans, I had Thermalright B12 white. My CPU fan RPM at max load was always less than 2100 RPM or around that range, which was extremely weird for me because they were rated for 2500 RPM. So I thought I'd give the T30s a try. Even then, the fan RPM is smaller. My issue is that it never goes higher because I would like to see RPMs close to 3000 for maximum cooling, but even at 100% load, it's always around 2100 RPM. I tried a few things so far, made sure both fans had been switched to advanced mode, physical sliders on the T30s, changed CPU fan mode to PWM and BIOS. Oh, well, if you change the CPU fan to PWM. For the setup, I have both fans connected separately into the fan header on the internal fan RGB that comes with the Q58. Okay. Hope someone can assist this. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go worst case scenario. I understand that you enabled CPU fan to PWM. But what happens if you okay, well, worst case scenario, I understand that you enable CPU fan to PWM, but what happens if you CPU fan, if you plug the fan directly into the power supply? Does the RPM get faster? Okay, but what happens if you plug the fan directly into the power supply? Does the RPM get faster? What happens if you then, or what happens if after that you plug the hold on, let me make sure I say that right. But what happens if you plug the fan directly into the power supply? True. Does the RPM get faster? What happens if after that you plug the what are we gonna say? Oh, what happens if after that you plug the fan into the motherboard? Does it stay at the same RPM as being plugged, if I can spell, being plugged into the power supply? There we go. So yeah, I would try that. I would just, see what it's capable of in its maximum settings and kind of go from there. True, you can look at for fan control in Windows and try to change the fan speeds and all that kind of stuff. But I was going based off assuming that didn't work, because that's the kind of the easiest thing that you can choose from. And there's multiple people that are reply, but so multiple people probably have already mentioned that. So I just wanted to come at a different angle to make sure that we check all her I's and T's on that. All right, let's go to the next random one. Thought I'd treat myself. Dead Space, Last of Us Part 1, Dead Island 2. Yep, that's a treat. Looks like candy to me. LOL. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sweet. Dead Island 2 seems to be pretty good. People like it. It's not the greatest game, but to be fair, the first Dead Island 1 wasn't exactly the greatest game, but it was pretty good. I mean, I remember enjoying it when I was like 24, whenever it came out. But yeah, Dead Island 2, that's a thing. Last of Us Part 1 obviously doesn't even need an introduction, and Dead Space is also really good, especially the remastered one. Alrighty, random issue number 3. This is from Akamakai. Hey, he already fixed it. How to stop website from opening whenever I launch Chrome, but it's at solve, so we're not even gonna read it. There's no point. We'll just open up a no random case. Random, good old days. I'm so down. Okay, so it's this one. Black bezel looks great on the gray RG 3500 or 35XX. Yeah, it looks like a Game Boy. I mean, that's really good. And plus, he's playing Super Mario Brothers 3, which is like the coolest thing ever. Yo. Super Mario Brothers 3. Mario Brothers 3 for the win. I remember when I was a kid, and I had, well, okay, so to be fair, Super Mario Brothers 3 was originally on the basic Nintendo. I remember, okay, so I got Super Mario Brothers 3. My grandmother gave it to me for like my birthday. And I got all the way to the end and I couldn't beat the boss. And I think I had to get my mom to come in and beat it for me because that boss, like I couldn't wrap my head around his timing and the way he jumped. And it was so nerve wracking because it took so much work to get to him. I was afraid of dying, and I ended up getting my mom to help me beat him. But yeah, good old times, good times, especially Super Mario Brothers 3. That game was hard. Well, it was hard when, I was 12, but now I don't think it's going to be all that hard, but still great game. And the fact that it's on a Game Boy Advance, or what looks like a Game Boy, is pretty sweet. I gotta admit, gotta give the man his props. That is pretty sweet. Alrighty, this is Air Plus free upgrade if you don't mind waiting. Gamers who have placed an order for the Air Plus 6800U but have yet to ship can wait for the upgraded version with the 7000 series processors. At that time, you will receive a free upgrade to the 7000 series processors version of Air Plus at the current price. That hurts my soul. Basically, what he's saying is the 7000 series actually has RDNA 3 and 6800U has RDNA 2. So if you had waited a little bit longer, they'll send you the 7000 with the upgraded CPU and the RDNA 3, which would be more comparable to the ROG Ally, and now I want to cry. So, pour one out for just receiving my Aya Neo 2. This is, okay, this is a hard lesson, okay? And y'all can barely see that, I'm so sorry. Right here. So this right here, they have a little upgrade from the 6800U to the 7000. The 7000 series has RDNA 3, which has better graphics, somewhere between 15 to 30%. To be fair, the ROG Ally actually is supposed to be using one of the Z1 or the T1, or the, I'm sorry, I think it's called Z1 and Z1 Extreme new processors, but those are also RDNA 3. But this should be RDNA 3 as well. And whenever it comes to some of these new consoles, especially consoles on Indiegogo, it may be in your better interest to not buy the most expensive one like I did. I think that that's the lesson that I learned from these, because they're coming out in such fervor that you spending $1,500 on one, it may not be the best idea because now you're stuck with a 60 hertz panel instead of a 120 hertz panel. And it's a little bit difficult, you know, even if you could get those frame rates, you couldn't get it on that console. So now you have to use an external monitor, which is a pain, you know, but I'm not exactly mad at the product or anything. It's just that when you're in what we do, right, where we're looking at multiple consoles, like for example, we can look at the Steam Deck if we wanted to, but it's probably sleep. We can look at the Switch. We can look at whatever console and troubleshoot whatever issue on whatever console. It doesn't make sense to go after the most expensive one of these. So even when the ROG Ally comes out, there's going to be another one that's probably right around the corner. So with these expensive kind of products, it may be in your better interest to go for the mid-grade tier. That was a whole mouthful, but yeah. Alrighty, next random case. Nintendo will attend Gamescom in 2023 later this year. It's confirmed. Nintendo will exhibit after a 4-year hiatus. Comes and the German Gaming Industry Association have officially confirmed, following a statement by the event's organizer, that a major company will return to the exhibition. And it is all text. I am so sorry you don't want to read that. The opening show, Opening Night Live, which is hosted by and produced by Geoff whatever, is also set to return to the Gamescom. Okay, cool. So Nintendo is going back to Gamescom, which gives us a reason to actually start going to these kind of events, because, you know, a lot of people who used to go to the events don't go to them at all anymore. Although Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4, the two biggest games the firm has so far announced, will be out by the time Gamescom takes the place in August. It is presently unknown what Nintendo's presence at the show will include. That's very true. See, in fact, you know, Tears of the Kingdom comes out pretty soon, and so does Pikmin. All right, let's go and go to the next one here. Good old days. What? Give it some gas. Press the pedal. That was awesome. Okay. 20 bucks says his computer doesn't sound like that, but that was awesome. I'm sitting here, yelling, give it some gas. LOL. Yo, it needs some more gas. You gotta push that on that accelerator a little bit more, man. That is wow. We did not deserve that. That was hilarious. And on top of that, it started up with Windows XP. So you already know this is 100% accurate. So wow. 23-second video, I knew we would barely get to the Windows boot screen. Blows my mind that a complete reset takes less than 9 seconds these days. Because of that, I still doubt it's really fully resetting. Yeah, true. Some of these, like especially XP, man, it used to take minutes. It takes forever. Especially even Ryzen, whenever it first launched or whatever, it took like 5 minutes before it even showed you a screen. Like, it was awful. That, in my experience, I have always turned off and confirmed the free space I get back. I haven't installed Windows 11 yet, though, so maybe it's off of that. I just disabled the fast boot SSD, still making booting faster, and that's enough for me. Yeah, SSDs are still pretty good. Wow, that was pretty cool. All right, what time is it? Okay, we'll do one more set of randoms and we will finish that up today. Yeah, we'll leave. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. All right, one more roulette. Let's see here, refresh. Mystery Wi-Fi network? Oh, you had me at mystery. Assassin's Creed 2? Oh, you had me at Assassin's Creed. I know it's small, you had me at small. Alien Isolation is finally getting a physical release. Sure. And Meshalicious, hey. Gotta love the Meshalicious, let's do it. Alrighty, Mystery Wi-Fi network, so we're back to networking. I found a Wi-Fi network that has my name listed as part of the name of the network, but I do not recall setting it up. The Wi-Fi network interface Wi-Fi 6, or the network if Wi-Fi 6 or interface. IAF is interface. I don't know what he's trying to say there. With password protection that I do not know the password to. My complex has Wi-Fi included, so I do not have a router outside of the one that came with my apartment. I do have some smart devices, however. I cut all the breakers to my apartment, but the Wi-Fi network remained. Any thoughts on where the signal can be coming from? Yeah, not you. Not you. More than likely, there is someone in your neighborhood with a similar name, but it sounds as if the router you see, or I'm sorry, not router, but the Wi-Fi signal okay, it's called an SSID, but I'm not going to sit here and say SSID because he's not going to know what SSID means. Does that make sense? But the Wi-Fi signal, but it sounds as if the Wi-Fi signal you see is from someone else. More than likely, there is someone in your neighborhood with a similar name, but it sounds as if the Wi-Fi signal you see is from them. Yeah, I won't worry about it, bro. But yeah, it's just somebody with the same name. Yeah, he said same thing. It happens. It happens a lot. I mean, you know, it's an SSID, bro. So it's whatever you see. All right, let's go and go to the next one here. So this is from TechSup. Assassin's Creed 2 in 2023 with the OG guidebook from 2009. Okay, to be fair, I haven't played any Assassin's Creed game, not a single one. I tried, I own them. We have them on Steam because I have it for the troubleshoot like customers' issues and stuff, but I have yet to play in a single Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what it is. I don't like sneaking in games ever. Ever. I didn't like it in Last of Us. I just don't like sneaking. Sneaking is never my thing. I'm more of a guns blazing right up in your face with a shotgun kind of guy. So Assassin's Creed is a little bit too slow and methodical for me. It's been 14 years since I played this gem. Sweet. Congrats, bro. Nothing like... No, I'm not about to say that. I was gonna say nothing like nothing like an assassination to get the blood boiling, but I'm not about to say all that. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too Dexter. So yeah, Assassin's Creed, that's a thing, I guess. I don't even know if I consider that a case, but we'll see. I know it's small, but here's my collection. That's not even small. I love the PS Vita. I played Crisis Core on the PS Vita. Was it PS Vita or PSP? I think it may have been the PSP. I mean, I didn't have the PS Vita. I had the PSP. And I played Crisis Core, and it was freaking awesome. A retro, Nintendo, whatever. Nintendo 3DS. I don't know if I still have mine. I think I gave it away because I didn't need it anymore. And the Nintendo 3DS is still really good console, especially if you got all those Pokemon games. And then, of course, you have the Switch, and then you have the Steam Deck. So, yeah. That's a pretty good collection. Steam Deck basically covers everything on that table. LOL. That Steam Deck can literally play all of these games. All you just need is one, really. So you don't even have a collection. You really just have one. You have the Steam Deck, and that's pretty much it. You have 4 of my all-time favorite handhelds: the Deck, the Switch, the 3DS, and Vita. Great collection right there. Okay, to be fair, I would say PSP is in Sony Game Gear, but that's only because I had them. It's not because I've had better. Those are the ones that I had, and I just liked them the most. Alrighty, let's go to the next one here. Alien Isolation is finally getting a physical release on Switch via limited run games. When she left Earth, Ellen Ripley promised her daughter she would return home to celebrate her 11th birthday. She never made it. Of course, it's Ripley. Ripley's story comes to limited run this May. Pre-order the Switch physical edition of Alien Isolation Collection on May 26th. May 26th for any of you Alien fans. Not Alien versus Predator, just regular Alien. Don't bring an AVP into this. No Predators. We're talking about aliens. What was that one with the guy with the drinking and the big producers, I think they're called, or engineers or whatever? I can't even remember the name of the movie. That was interesting somewhat, but whatever. The guys who created the xenomorphs and the humans, I guess. Alrighty, so the last one here is going to be Iron Chash. Meshalicious RTX 4070 Ti with a 7700X. This is very similar to the build that I had previously. Of course, I had a 4090 on this side. A 4090 can fit into Meshalicious. If anybody is wondering, it 100% can. It's just that it's a little bulky and it's a little tight. Don't you dare, that's what she said me. But that it is. It's not the best build in the world, but it does get the job done. You know, and this has always been a really good build. It's just that this guy's problem is that you only have that one PCIe slot, and when you do what we do, we need like 80 of them. But it still was a pretty nice build. I still have my Meshalicious. I got to put another build in it, but still really sweet loadout, bro. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. Love the Meshalicious series, which is the Meshalicious as well as the Mushroom S. Mushroom S basically just looks exactly like the Meshalicious. Alrighty, and we will go ahead and call it here a little bit early. I do apologize. You know, sometimes it's kind of hard to time it out depending on the cases that we get, but I'll go ahead and create another group for next time so it lasts a little bit longer, but we'll stop a little bit earlier today. Things coming up this weekend. I need to put a date on it. This weekend we'll start taking calls. I need to well, I'll start getting it set up so that we can test it and make sure everything is working properly. That way if somebody calls, we can answer and try to help that way. I have to look at a few different things, but that will be happening. Also, obviously we will be doing this tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's pretty good for right now. We'll go ahead and leave it there. And thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for attending. And if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, go to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best and bye. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.